Hi, my name is Shockley. I own the world's most powerful truck. It's a 1984 Peterbilt, and it's powered by two Westinghouse J34 jet engines, and it produces 36,000 horsepower. The truck took 9.5 months to build. It cost $250,000 to build it. It's a stock 1984 Peterbilt cab, and the front end is special made from fiberglass. So is the sleeper that's on it. The chassis is made from about $8,000 worth of 4130 chromoly tubing. This thing is almost like a space shuttle. It has so many different redundant features as far as the safety things, you know. It's got 2 to 3 different ways to shut off the engines and 2 different parachute setups and just a multitude of different safety things built into it. This truck, because of the power and the engines and everything in it, it creates a lot more noise than everything inside the cab. It's like an echo chamber in there. It's actually probably the most exciting part of this whole act is when you're up there at the starting line and before you leave. Because of the mass of the vehicle, it doesn't run as fast as a lot of the cars that I've driven over the years. So it's not quite as exciting to me going down the track because it does handle so well. I like a car that doesn't handle that good, something you have to kind of fight, you know, get down a racetrack. Your mind's probably going 200 miles an hour and your heart's going 300 miles an hour. The adrenaline's maybe 500 miles an hour. You're pretty hyped up. I still am. Up to this point, all jet-powered trucks have been powered by one engine. When we built this truck, we built it actually with 3 engines. In about 6 to 8 weeks, we'll be running the truck with 3 engines, and we expect it to run at speeds of probably 240 or 50 miles an hour and a quarter.
Well, most people have single-engine dragsters. Dick Gallardi's thought was there was no twin-engine dragsters. He felt that the twin-engine, especially using the J34-48, would produce a tremendous amount of fire and smoke. The car took over 2 years to build, with thousands of hours of preparation and work. My name's Steve Cotugno, driver of the Botown Express twin-jet dragster. The car was built and engineered by Dick Gallardi of Boston, Mass. The car produces over 25,000 horsepower at 12,000 pounds of thrust. The car will do over 300 miles an hour in a quarter mile. Through NHRA, we are restricted to 175. So we run all their tracks under 175 miles per hour.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the biggest, heaviest, most powerful race car you've ever seen. Out of Boston, Massachusetts, Steve Cotugno's awesome Botown Express. 30 feet long, weighs a couple tons. It's powered by not 1, but 2 Westinghouse J34 jet engines. 20,000 pounds of thrust. And when you see this thing go down the track, you aren't gonna believe it. The engines out of Navy Banshee jet fighters. One of them propelled the jet fighter at 600 miles per hour. Imagine what 2 of them can do on this monster. So Steve Cotugno bringing the Botown Express, the only twin-engine jet dragster in the world, to the starting line here. He's got it in smoke. Afterburn's on, and here he goes. Look at him blast his way on down the quarter mile. Both jet engines putting out gobs of horsepower. The Botown Express, 6.99 seconds. See the twin chutes bringing that big, long, weedy roadster to a halt at the end of the Raceway Park quarter mile.
The experience is probably the same as leaving the top of a roller coaster and gliding downhill, constantly picking up speed until the point where it seems like you can't take it anymore and you shut the car off. It's a totally awesome feeling, and it's just unbelievable.
The Lava Machine is regarded as one of the most spectacular vehicles in drag racing. At 47 years old, Roger is the king of the jet car circuit.
There you go.
He's a driver, mechanic, engineer, and spokesman for jet car racing.
Folks enjoying the race today?
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
You've been in competition about 2 weeks ago?
We're running both lava machines all the time now. Mike Evagene's driving the other one. We just finished doing some testing with it, and they're just as close as they can be. We won the that All-American Jet Car Nationals here, and was a runner-up with the other car. So,
trying to push a little more. We're going to keep it to where you're at.
Always push it to the limit. Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
In 1972, he began a one-man crusade to convince the National Hot Rod Association to sanction jet cars, and became the first driver ever licensed by the NHRA to drive a jet-powered dragster. In 1980, he switched to the jet funny car.
This is a lava machine. I'm Roger Gustin. I drive it. I'd like to show you a few things about the lava machine. You're looking at the very back end of the afterburner of a JT-12 Pratt Whitney jet engine that came out of like a corporate jet. Produces about 6,000 horsepower, and we run speeds well over 260 miles an hour. The body is a fiberglass replica of a Z28 Camaro. It's one-piece fiberglass, very lightweight, very sleek, aerodynamic car. This is the front of the jet engine. You can see that we've got it screened to prevent any foreign object damage from going into the intake. This is something you'd never see on an aircraft. But being I'm sitting right beside the compressor in this engine, I need all the protection I get, plus that's part of NHRA's strict safety rules. We're looking at a 4130 chromoly space chassis that was built by Horton Race Cars down in Belton, South Carolina. Over here, you're looking at a 30-gallon fuel tank that we burn up about 25 or 26 gallons of jet fuel every run. That also includes the fire show that the fans love so much. I think we've got probably one of the most state-of-the-art race cars in jet car racing. The lava machine has a JT-12 Pratt Whitney jet engine built by Craig Arpons, and that is the entire drivetrain. There is no differential, there's no transmission, no drive shaft, and no U-joints in this car. Just to give you a quick look, this is the main fuel. This is afterburner fuel. This is a main parachute. This is the emergency parachute and emergency fuel shut-off. This is the show business handle. This is for the fire show that adds a lot of fire out there on the starting line. One of the most asked questions I have is, what does it feel like to be inside the lava machine here and light that afterburner and getting torched off that starting line with 6,000 horsepower? I gotta tell you, it's absolutely an incredible sensation.
Roger has two jet funny cars, the lava machine and the lava pump car. They crisscross the United States in a giant tractor trailer, thrilling thousands of fans with their daring exhibitions of speed and fire like volcanoes exploding. Here's Roger on jet funny cars.
Probably the most exciting sensation that I think that you can have and stay on the ground, not be an astronaut, is driving this lava machine. When you're sitting there with the car staged, you light that afterburner, you've got 5 Gs against your body the very instant that it accelerates off the starting line. When you cross the finish line, you pull the parachute, shut the engine off, and it's an instant reversal of about 4 Gs negative in getting the car stopped when the parachute opens.
Basically what a wheel stander is we travel down a quarter mile and the speeds exceeding 130 miles per hour on the rear wheels only. The front wheels are approximately 6 feet in the air. I've held national records 3 or 4 times with my young American car, the Monza body, and Jim Curtis has set a few with my other car, the Superbug. These cars are tube chassis type, almost like a rear engine funny car. The reason the engine is in the rear is all the weight transfer is in the back of the car, and what it does is makes a good lifting type effect to the front of the car. Down the quarter mile, front wheels up in the air the whole way down the quarter mile. Madman Marko is what they call me. My real name is Mark Hildenin. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. I've been driving race cars for the past 11 years. The past 6 was wheel stand cars for a full-time living. Myself and Jim Smokehouse Curtis co-drive. I drive this car here called the Young American Chevy Monza wheel stander. My co-partner Jim Smokehouse Curtis drives the Superbug, which is a VW-bodied wheel stander. It's a very different feeling to lift the front wheels 6 feet in the air and have to control the car with a braking system in the rear wheels. What we actually do when the front wheels lift up is we grab a lever on our right-hand side and you push that lever forward to go left and you pull it back to go right. The reason for this, obviously, the front wheels are 6 feet in the air. There's no way of using the steering wheel. All we use the actual steering wheel for is steering the car once it comes down for making a quarter-mile run. Otherwise, we're up in the air. We're looking out a hole between our feet to see where we're going. We have a small opening. We can see approximately 100 feet in front of us. So we're looking out the floor. We're steering with our right hand with a steering brake, with the rear wheels actually braking the car to steer it. And we're shifting with our left hand. We make one shift down the quarter mile and steering with our right. We leave the starting line, and hopefully if we make a good run, when we get to the other end, we're going over 130 miles per hour with the front wheels up in the air, wheel spin. Spark. They have what they call titanium plates on the end of the wheelie bars. The wheelie bars are here that come out the back of the car, and here we have plates of titanium. And as they're breaking off, these pieces of titanium are very hot, and it's a very, very bright white spark. And as they're going off into the air, they're burning up, and it's a very bright white spark. And that's the reason we use the type of metal titanium, just as part of our show. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, now with the Jet Funny Cars. Ms. Sue Ransom in the left lane. Join the Repco sponsored Datsun 280Z Jet Funny Car against Ken Warby in the right lane, driving the Mustang body car, also sponsored by Repco. Both of these cars powered by Westinghouse J85 jet engines, 5,000 pounds of thrust, 10,000 horsepower. Two of the cars, both of them from Australia. The Thunder from Down Under, they call it. These cars, capable of running slow 6-second lap time at speeds of over 250 miles per hour. And unlike the Nitro Funny Cars and Alcohol Funny Cars that you see here today, these cars are jet propelled. Everything on the starting line that isn't bolted down has been removed. Get ready, because here we go with the start. They're off. Ransom moves first. Warby trying to pass her. But here comes Susie. She's flying a big end. A 618 for the win. Jet Funny Car fans, get ready. The track lights have been turned off for the starting line firefight between the Stroh Jet Funny Cars. The Stroh's Firebird Firebird in the right-hand lane. Taking on the Stroh's Light Dodge Charger in the other lane. Both cars injecting raw jet fuel into the afterburner and literally setting the track on fire. Both cars powered by Westinghouse J34 jet engines, producing 6,000 pounds of thrust, 12,000 horsepower.
Hello, my name's Elmer Wachter, better known as Dr. Wacko. I'm the leader or coordinator of a group of racers known as the Wild Bunch. This is my 86 CJ7 Jeep powered by a small block aluminum Chevrolet motor with an automatic transmission. The quickest time for my Jeep is an 8:32 at 165 miles an hour. The Wild Bunch, a group of racers as diversified as a Jeep to a Chevrolet truck to an 86 Datsun, Camaros, all door slammer type of vehicles and bodies that you can recognize, is a group of racers based in Central Maryland. There are numerous cars in the Wild Bunch. Camp Stanley's 75 Love pickup truck powered by a big block Chevrolet with a Lenco. Flies down the track, sometimes both lanes, but he usually makes the quarter mile in good fashion.
I'm Camp Stanley, owner-driver of the 1975 Chevy Love pickup, just loving it. Powered by a supercharged, fuel-injected big block Chevrolet engine, 4-speed Lenco, and a 9-inch Ford rear. I have to use this wing to hold it down in top end because this is not the most aerodynamic race car in the world. It's almost like driving a brick down a racetrack. The 75 Chevy Love pickup's known for going left, right, straight, round the ring, occasionally dipping the guardrails, but it's all part of fun and games.
Tommy Howes, the pilot of the 86 300 ZX Datsun, the quickest car to date in the Wild Bunch, with speeds approaching 200 mile an hour and ETs in the low 7s. Dennis Brightwell, probably one of the favorites in the group, a 67 Camaro, all steel body, powered by a 427 Chevrolet. This car probably is the closest to a wheel standard that the whole group has, as when it leaves the line, the wheels are in the air. Carol Hines in the 27T Roadster, powered also by a big block Chevrolet. Best ET around 782 at 178 mile an hour. These cars in between rounds come back, check the valve lash, check for any parts that are broken, and repack the parachute, check the air pressure in the tires, and then we're up for a second round. Hope we do well.
Street-type cars with funny car motors, ladies and gentlemen, the Wild Bunch. In the left-hand lane, the one and only Dr. Wacko, Elmer Wachter. He's a neurosurgeon, a neurologist. He's a brain transplanting fool. Taking on the greasy pygmy, they call him, Camp Stanley in the Wild Lovin' It truck. A Chevy small block, supercharged, fuel-injected on alcohol, powering a Jeep, and a 511 cubic inch aluminum Chevrolet Rodeck racing engine powering the Wild pickup. How'd you like to drive these cars on the street wild? I'll tell you. Backing up after their first burnout, the crew members guiding them back. We're going for a roar on wheels here today at New England Dragway. Ground-pounding, earth-shaking, road warriors of the quarter mile. The Wild Bunch. The craziest cars you'll ever see go down a drag strip. Here we go. Side by side off the starting line, Camp Stanley's Love It truck with a big block Chevy leading the way through the lights. He takes the win at 829 to a losing 869. Who's behind those Foster Grants? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tommy the Who Howes. And driving the very mysterious RCD Datsun. 540 cubic inch aluminum Chevy engine, supercharged on fuel injection, the fastest car of the Wild Bunch. He's run mid 7-second times. What a pair of wild burnouts by these crazy Wild Bunch cars. In the left-hand lane, the unbelievable bright light Camaro of Denny Brightwell, powered by a 460 cubic inch steel block Chevy racing engine. It's got the stock A-frames, the stock front suspension, but one of the quicker cars in the Wild Bunch circuit. More like a street car than any other car in the Wild Bunch. Wild wheel-standing burnouts by both cars. Checking out the traction on the starting line. Two of the wildest cars in all of drag racing. These guys are more than drag racers, they're entertainers. Taking their quarter-mile rocket ships down the drag strip all across the country. The Wild Bunch, the stands are always packed when these guys appear at the local drag strip. Wheel standing their way off the sideline, side by side. Tommy House, he has a motor ball. Look at the smoke coming out the back. Denny Brightwell, the Camaro streaking for the lights. A low lap time, 8 seconds flat. 170 miles per hour for the steel block bright light Camaro. They call him TV Tommy Ivo. He's one of drag racing's living legends. He's been in the sport since the beginning. He got the name TV from his acting days 25 years ago when he was one of the Walt Disney Mouseketeers. This is his transporter, bringing his latest race vehicle out to the track. Tommy's been around for a long, long time.
Well, I've been racing now for 30 years. This is the car we're running out here now, has a jet engine in it. It's the 33rd car that I've owned in drag racing. I've had single-engine cars, 2 motors, 4 motors, funny cars, dragsters, just about everything you can think of. My name's Tommy Ivo, or known as TV Tommy Ivo in drag racing. This is my jet-powered race car. It's the 33rd race car I've had in 30 years of drag racing. It's got a J34 Westinghouse engine in it. Puts out about 6,000 horsepower. That's about 250 miles an hour and a quarter of a mile. Well, like I say, TV Tommy Ivo, that came from my other occupation. I worked for 28 years in motion picture and television. I did the Donna Reed Show, Mickey Mouse Club, Bachelor Father, just about all different situation comedies that came about in the early 50s and 60s.
This is TV Tommy Ivo's latest race car, his jet-powered dragster. Tommy's raced a lot of vehicles in his career. He talks about this one.
Each car has its own unique thing. Like these jet cars run very fast. At the very top end of the course, all of a sudden they take off like a scared rabbit. Of course, I grew up with the sport, so it was a challenge all the time. We were constantly changing cars, upgrading the thing. Now it's become a little stagnant because we've come to the state of the art. Where do you go from here? That's the deal. After you've bounced down the track at 260 miles an hour, what do you do for an encore? I've tried everything else. I've skydived, scuba dived, I've got motorcycles, I ski, water ski, snow ski, but still the thrill of it all is the acceleration, going so fast in a quarter of a mile from 0 to 260 miles an hour. Car itself, you're controlling a car that has about 6,000 horsepower, and you don't want to make any mistakes, so your mind's pretty much occupied with exactly what's happening with the race car itself.
Here's the green light, cloud and smoke, and the racing is back. One more of your smoke, unbelievable. A red line shot by Lewinsky, hands Ivo a win. The 30-year veteran of the TV man, the winner here in jet car racing action.
I've been asked by people so much about my 4-motor car that I owned about 20 years ago because a lot of them haven't had a chance to see it. And we're restoring it right now to put it in the museum. And before I stick it in the museum, I think I'm going to take it around the circuit and let the people see it that haven't had a chance to see it. It was probably the most famous car I ever built because of the unique fact that it was the only car with 4 engines in it.
He's been racing here at Raceway Park ever since the beginning, 1970. legendary four-engine Buick funny car. Ivo, a legend in the sport of drag racing, been doing it for 30 years, out now with his car that's 20 years old. 1,604 cubic inches, 4 Buick engines, fuel injected, on alcohol, ready to pull up and burn rubber with all 4 wheels, a 4-wheel drive funny car. Ivo, getting ready to go on the starting line, pulling up carefully, getting ready to drive away. Burning rubber is a drag racing history. Fired and running, ladies and gentlemen, the world's only gold-plated jet dragster, Jerry Hot Rod Siegel. He's only 26 years old, driving John Fattori's car he calls Simple Pleasure. Over $15,000 worth of gold plating on this vehicle. Instead of regular chrome, they use gold. Sponsored by the 14K company out in California. It's powered by the J34 Westinghouse jet engine, 16,000 horsepower. And Siegel's just about ready to go down the track here in the right-hand lane. The Zeus buttons that hold the body panels on this car are worth $8 a piece. Usually you can buy it for $1, but not from this car. They're gold-plated. 14-karat gold everywhere. One of the most beautiful cars ever to hit down the drag strip. Siegel out of California lights the burner and he's making his way towards the starting line. What a pretty car. His competition in the other lane is Mr. Tom Downtown Brown at Los Angeles, California, driving his jet-powered dragster he calls the California Flame. Powered by the lighter, less horsepower Westinghouse J85 jet engine. It's a lighter car, a little bit horsepower, but it's going to give Jerry a run for his money. So here we go. Siegel, front lane, a Simple Pleasure, the gold-plated car, and Tom Brown, California Flame on the left side, ready to battle it out in a jet-propelled ride at over 200 miles an hour. Inching their way into the staging beam very, very carefully. The jet's on full burner right now. In just a moment, that green light's going to come on. They'll light the afterburner, and away they'll go down the quarter mile. They're all fire coming out of the tailpipe. Crows got the whole shot. Look at that, side by side. Dave Rigby, ladies and gentlemen, the master of disaster, and his troupe of traveling stuntmen are here tonight to perform one of the most dangerous stunts you've ever seen. Tonight, you're going to see their attempt to jump a full-size automobile that looks like the General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard off a ramp 200 feet in the air and land on a pile of junk cars. At 90 miles an hour, he hits the ramp. What an impact! Unbelievable! Almost flipping over. Dave Rigby, stunt coordinator, dives into the front window of that Dodge. The crowd can't believe what they've seen here tonight. Unbelievable! The driver, is he okay? Yes, he is. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Rigby congratulating him on an unbelievable jump here tonight. Look what he's done to that replica of the General Lee. Reduced it to a pile of junk. The front end completely destroyed. You see a happy young man there. It's a 69 Dodge Charger. It's worth quite a bit of money to your car collectors out there. And as you can see, it's a pile of junk. Windows blown out, front end destroyed. Here comes what it looked like before. Take a look at the cars on the drag strip. 4 full-size automobiles with a roof caved in with that Dodge landed on top. Okay, we're going to clear the track now and get ready for our next stunt here tonight by the Masters of Disaster. 14 spectators out of our grandstands have donated their street cars here tonight, parked them under the ramp, in line with 4 more junk cars, and the Masters of Disasters are going to take this 1972 Plymouth that you see out here, an ex-New Jersey State Police undercover car, jump it off the ramp and crash it into the pile of junk cars. Our safety crew is ready, and I'm sure all of you people out there are going to get a kick out of seeing the cop car crash. Approaching the ramp at 90 miles an hour, he must hit it perfectly or he's in big trouble. What an impact! He didn't want to land like that with his back end on the ground, almost flipping over. Rigby rushing to the car to the aid of his driver, helping him unbuckle the shoulder harness, the seatbelt that holds him in that car. What a crazy profession, but it's a real crowd pleaser. Traveling at 80 miles per hour, he was 20 feet in the air, and he traveled over 200 feet, landing on a pile of junk cars. That's why they call him the Master of Disaster. Ladies and gentlemen, the stage is now being set for the most dangerous auto jump you've ever seen. The fire trucks you see out there, the fire crew, there's a reason for that, because the Masters of Disasters are going to attempt to jump a full-size automobile off this ramp 200 feet in the air and land on this pile of junk cars. It's a little different than the two you've seen previous, because this time the car is going to be on fire. This stunt has been banned at many events across the country because of the danger involved. The driver coming down the track now at 90 miles an hour, ready to hit that ramp on fire. Exploding in a fireball, landing on top of the cars. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen, the entire back half of the car engulfed in flame. Dave Rigby frantically jumping on the car, checking on his driver, the fire crew. With the extinguishers on the back of the car, they got the fire out. He's okay. There he comes out through the front windshield. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, the Masters of Disaster. While we're waiting for the funny cars to get ready for the next round, here we go. Two of the wildest vehicles ever to go down the drag strip. Bob Hall's Paddy Wagon Chevy Vega taking on Danny O'Day's wind-up pickup. They're called wheel standers, designed to travel down the quarter mile on their back wheels. Their front wheels up in the air, and there you go. Bob Hall making a burnout. Here comes O'Day, as you can see easily, picking up the wheels, the little wind-up motor in the back, really cranking it out to get this pickup truck down the quarter mile. Both vehicles with big block Chevrolet, supercharged and fuel injected, stuffed in where the back seat would usually be. Turning around out there in the middle of the track and coming back to the starting line. These cars with a lot of weight in the back, they got those wheelie bars hanging out and titanium wheel skids which shoot a shower of sparks as they go on down the Raceway Park quarter mile. So here they come back towards the starting line, all with a paddy wagon, got the flashing lights, got the siren. He's making a U-turn, he'll be running in the right lane. That big block Chevy stuffed in the back of Danny O'Day's pickup truck. He calls it the wind-up pickup truck, and it's producing about 1,500 horsepower. That big Chevy engine sits in the pickup bed. Each driver's sitting right in front of the big supercharged engines. Look at the scoop sticking out the roof of the paddy wagon over there in the right lane as he brings it towards the line. These drivers, as soon as they leave the starting line, they look through holes in the floor of their vehicle and steer the car using an independent pair of rear brakes, sort of like the way you steer a bulldozer. There they go, up in the air, and they got it up. The sparks shooting off the tail skids, the big block Chevy engines pumping them down the track, and what a wild pass! The wind going to the paddy wagon, a good run for him. Danny O'Day right alongside.
The truck is powered by 3 Westinghouse jet engines. Each one of these engines were developed to use in a Navy fighter. Each one of these engines develops about 6,300 pounds of static thrust and about 12,000 horsepower at the speed of sound. In theory, and only theory of course, because the truck couldn't take it or this old driver couldn't handle it, but this truck has enough power to run over 2,000 miles an hour. Everybody always asks me what it feels like to sit in this truck at the starting line and what you think about. I really don't know how to answer that because I don't know how to compare it to anything else I've ever done. I know the feeling going down the racetrack must be something like the clown experiences when he gets shot out of a cannon there at the circus. The only difference is as soon as he leaves the barrel of the cannon, he slows down and we keep right on accelerating. And as far as what it feels like going down there or what it looks like, I don't know because I'm so scared I keep my eyes shut.
Ladies and gentlemen,